Would you give recommendation on buying long stocks for SNCR? My family's interested in it and asking me to ask my Discord groups. SNCR. So when anyone asks me, like, what are your thoughts on something? SNCR is not a stock that I have ever traded before. I've never even looked up the ticker, I don't think. So what I'm going to ask you, sophisticateds or whatever, is what do you like about it? What news do you see? What kind of company it is? I know now that you want to go long. I do think the stock looks strong in general terms. I mean, it's not something that's gone from $50 a share to $2 a share. This year, it's gone from about $5 to $6, and it's sitting at 12 right now with a high of 15.50. So, obviously it's done good this year. Syncrosis technology, I don't know anything about it, but I would think from a technical standpoint, you're going to want to pay attention to this $11 level here. Just quickly glancing at this. This is obviously going to be some sort of support. You can see it bouncing here at about 1175, 1160, 1170, and they're right back at this area. So I would also kind of mark out this like 1170, 1169-ish area here, where if it breaks down under this, you're going to want to be a little weary, because if it comes down into here, yeah, it could bounce at $11. But if it breaks down under 11, right, to me, this is going to be your zone. Right? If you want to buy the stock for whatever reason you do, this is where you're going to probably want to be long, and we're getting into that area. However, your risk is very calculated, right? I would say if it starts closing, on the day under $11 a share, I'd probably want to be out. Could you continue to buy lower? Sure. But who are we to know that this can't break under 11, come down, trickle around to $10, break under $10, go back down to 9, break under 9, go down to 8, and then 7, and then you're down almost 50%, right? So you obviously just want to be careful, okay? But again, my area, if I was forced to buy the stock, is going to be around $11.70 to $11 flat, and then look for some sort of bounce. But again, if it gets under $11, I would start to be very careful. What indicators do you use? So I don't use necessarily any indicators. You can kind of see this little custom algo I have here. The candles are green and red and stuff like that. You don't need that. But the only thing that I use, guys, is going to be watching price action and watching, obviously how candles form, how they're moving, times and sales. I'm going to be watching volume. To me, volume is going to be one of the most important indicators that you can look at, because if there's no volume, then there's no trading going on, and you shouldn't take a trade on something when there's no volume, unless you're an insider trader, and maybe you should let me know about your ideas. I'm kidding, of course. Wink, wink. But so definitely look at volume, right? Because anytime I take a trade, I want there to be enough volume in that stock, so I know I'm not the only one looking at this, right? There's a lot of other transactions going through. There's a lot of other movement, happening on this stock that I want to be involved in. There's going to be clean price action. There's going to be clean moves that I can take advantage of. The only other thing that I use, other than watching price action and volume, is going to be VWAP. There's 3 different VWAPs. There's like an upper band, a lower band, and a middle VWAP. I use the middle VWAP. I haven't really tested out the upper and lower bands, but over my time, you can even just see here on Tesla, it's this orange line here. Bounced off it here, bounced off it here, bounced off it here, and ended up selling off. Latvian, actually, I don't know if he's here or not. He used VWAP for an entry today on Coin. Coin was something on his watch, and he told me that he bought off of VWAP, so I'm guessing he bought right in here when it started bouncing off VWAP, and he rode this for the 200 break. So, once again, not something that I called out, not something that I put on anyone's radar. He brought it up. I like the trade. I told him I think 200, that 200 level is going to be important. I actually may even want to scalp it through there. And he took the initiative because he's been putting in the work. He has been, trading with me for a while. He's a premium member. I actually met him in person in Florida at our meetup. And he took this trade completely on his own, and it worked out. Beautiful trade. So props to Latvian on that for learning VWAP and using it. What else did I miss here? Are you holding anything long or day trades? No, I'm not holding anything long term at the moment. You know, I feel like I need to start some sort of long term portfolio for in my life. But I'm not really at the point where I want to put a big chunk of cash to the side just yet. Maybe that's foolish of me. Maybe I should start just slowly adding into something. And I think that's something that I'm going to be looking at, considering the market's at all-time highs right now with one of the biggest elections, I think, in at least my time. For anyone that doesn't know me, I'm 21 years old. I'm turning 22 in February. So, I've been doing this since I was 15. So, I mean, I've done it for a little bit of time, but not to the point where I have, a massive chunk of money to put to a long-term portfolio that I think is worth it. But again, I could also start trickling in some shares here and there, which I am going to consider, but not when the market is at all-time highs. So I am going to be looking for some sort of pullback to take advantage of. I wish I took advantage of that last bear market, but we will have another one at one point in our lives, right? So that's where I'm going to be looking to take advantage of it. So definitely, just to answer, I'm a day trader solely, and that is all I do, and that is my job. So I like the quick in and outs. I don't like to hold things overnight because to me there's a lot of risk there that I don't want to take. Do you use anchored VWAP or normal VWAP? I believe it's normal VWAP. From what I know, Chag, I can look into that. Let me see if it says anything on here. So I just it just says VWAP on here. I don't see any sort of anchors on here at all. So I'm guessing it's normal. Yeah, so there is an anchored VWAP here. And so I use the normal one to answer your question. View OP. I don't know what view OP means. Do you use Bollinger Bands? I do not. I do know some traders that use it. There's a trader. His last name is Manzo, Manzo. His son traded with me at the trading firm that I worked at. And he makes a living from trading mean reversion using Bollinger Bands. So I'm not going to say that they're useless, but I would say that 99% of the traders that I've met, especially the people that do it for a living, do not do that. But there are some of them out there for sure. Latvian is the GOAT. That is true. That's his old profile picture. Let's see, what else do we got here? What's up, Lee? Lots of gifts here. All right, so I didn't miss anything. All right, guys, so I'm all caught up. What else you guys got? My trade today was Apple. Pretty good. These are like kind of my bread and butter trades. Not necessarily because it's all-time high, but it's breakout trades with a little bit of a catalyst, with an opening range break into some support level. It was pretty perfect today. I did record it as well, and I'll get that spliced up. Are you a day trader for options as well? Yeah, so I'm actually I only trade options. So that's what I do, because I trade the mega cap stocks, right? I'm trading things like Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, Netflix, Google, whatever. And those shares are a couple $100 a piece sometimes. So, I'm not going to throw, if I want to buy 1,000 shares of Apple today, I would have had to spend $235,000. And that is not what I'm looking to do, right? So I use options, and I think I only had 10 contracts today, so nothing too crazy. But if I buy 10 contracts, I'm then in control of 1,000 shares, right? Thanks, Chad. Yeah, that's a good one. So anyways, yeah, Apple, pretty perfect, guys. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better than this. I was really interested in Apple a couple weeks, or maybe a couple days, maybe a week or two ago, when it closed over here at 233. You can see here with my little dots that Apple rejected 233, 233, 233, 233. Then when the one time it broke through, it hit 237. So today I see Apple gapped up on a little bit of news about the iPhone 16 sales. Beautiful. Market was up a little bit as well. But if something gaps up above a resistance level, I want to see it come down into that resistance level, hold, and then bounce. And that is exactly what we got. So this morning, Apple opened, dipped down. I took a very, very small position here just to test it out, because if it does end up falling back under 232, my stop loss was there on that starter position. But it came in, bought a little bit, got bought right back up off this 233 level, which I like to see. Once it made a new high a day and came into the pre-market high, that is where I bought the rest of my position. I was looking for a 235 break, which is this whole round number here. That's why I charted it. There was a wall there, meaning there's a lot of orders stacked up there, which is going to bring in some volume. We came up to it, and then you see this nice volume candle down here. Right when we broke through 235, that is another check mark for me for this to go a little bit higher, and ended up just kind of selling on this break here, because I'd already caught a pretty decent move on Apple, up I think about 20 to 30%, and I took it all off. Obviously, I probably should have held this for all-time high, but the way that it came up into this 235 level and volume died off, I wasn't too happy with that, so I did sell some before the 235 break, just because right now I'm noticing that there's not a lot of breakouts and that continue. Things come up to resistance levels, maybe break, reject, and then just sell off really hard. So I don't really like the market environment that I've been seeing, so I was a little bit more cautious today. So sold a little bit there, broke through, just kind of ended up selling the rest on this. Like I said, I wish I would have held it for another $2, but it is what it is. You're never going to catch a whole move. I caught the safe part of the move, I feel. And, that's that. And it ended up making a high. It barely made an all-time high there. And then look where we ended the day. We came all the way back down to 233 where I originally bought. So I'm not mad that I missed out on the rest of this move. I caught about half of it. I was happy with it. And I'm moving on. So I hope that answers anyone's question on Apple. If you have any more, AC372, I saw you just now. I just saw your message on that. So I hope that answered your question. What are you trading tomorrow? So I'm not live trading tomorrow, guys. I don't really love that NVIDIA sold off really hard. But, I'm going to be watching the same things. I'm going to see if NVIDIA wants to bounce. I'm going to see if Apple wants to go back for all-time highs. I'm going to see if Tesla wants to finally go for 225. I think PanW is interesting. Other than that, tomorrow doesn't look a whole lot exciting to me. But again, anything can change in the morning. So when I get here at my desk, I will send trade ideas in on my day trades for Ethan, and I think that's only for premium guys. So for anyone that's premium in here and can see that, you guys will be able to see my watch list there. For anyone that doesn't or has not seen that stuff, I will take a screenshot of what I sent in today, just so you know that there's some proof there on what I do. This morning at 8:12 a.m. my time, so about 18 minutes before the market opened, I sent in that I liked Apple, and a quick little reason why, and then I recapped it later in the day. So when there's more trade ideas, obviously there's going to be more stuff in there, but that was for you premium guys. You make your own alerts. I'm shopping around to find a permanent Discord server I want. You guys were next after my week of my other server. You make your own day trades. Not as for the stock market again. Yeah, so 100%. So sophisticated. Yeah, I'm guessing you haven't come into my live trading streams. So yeah, we have swing trading with Mad Maverick, who's in here. We have day trading with me. And so for my style, obviously, it's very hard for me to type out an alert like, okay, I'm buying XYZ at this price right now, and expect y'all to be watching that and be able to buy in as quickly as I am. So what I do is 4 times a week, 2 times for free, and the other 2 times for premium, I'm going to be live trading just like you're seeing right now. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be telling you, okay, I'm watching, like for today, for example, I'm watching Apple. I'm going to be buying the 235 calls, and I'm going to do this. Okay, I like it. Boom. All right, guys, I'm in right now. I'm buying like right now. I tell you exactly the second that I'm buying. So if anyone wants to follow me, they simply just hit buy with me, and then I talk them through that trade. All right, I'm selling some here. I'm selling some. Okay, I'm selling everything. I'm all the way out. So it's literally a step-by-step walking you through every single second of the trade. And that's kind of more so my style. And that's what I do 4 times a week here in the chat. But yeah, so just like Lee said, Mad Maverick is, you can start with a coaching program, and that's going to be $50 a month, and you're going to get premium. So like, this is like my one free lesson I do a week. My coaching corner, we're going to have you're not only going to get all the free stuff, of course, but you're also going to get, premium lessons. So like on Thursday nights, I do a really in-depth lesson with slideshows and all that stuff. So it's, it's very interactive. Also answer questions and stuff like that. And you're also going to get your own private chat with me. So you can, which I honestly pay attention to most of the time because I want to take care of you guys. But that doesn't just go for me. That goes for Mad Maverick. That goes for Swinging Bull. That goes for any of the analysts here. So, I mean, if you don't want to day trade, look who's talking right now, Mad Maverick. That's who you're going to want to be with. He's done this for a long time. He's really, really good at what he does. He has watch lists. He has just about anything that you can want. So he's more than happy to help you. I know that. It's late for him right now. It's 9:30 in Florida. So I love that he's in here. If you have any questions for him, now's your time. He's a busy guy. And we want to see it doing what compared to that line, which chart, 1 minute 50. So PW, I watch the 1 minute chart most of the time. There are times when I switch to a 2 minute chart. But what you're looking at right now is a 1 minute chart. I think that was what you're asking. Your bank account got hacked. Oh, that sucks, Mastermind. I'm sorry, dude. Well, once you get that figured out, I'm sure we can help you get back into this place for sure. So I know you used to be premium. That's too bad. I normally work at 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Well, if you work nights, I mean, honestly, like so sophisticated. A lot of my days are less than 1 hour. Today, my trade was less than 10 minutes and I was done. So the market opened at 8:30 my time or 9:30 Eastern time. And I was done by 8:40 my time. Okay. So I was done with work, quote unquote, in the first 10 minutes of the day. So if you do have the time to day trade, that can happen. Also, if you don't want to be, kind of wired in and joining the streams and live trading, you're going to want to go with Mad Maverick because he's going to be the guy who can give you the swing trades that you can buy and hold for whether it's multiple hours at a time or multiple days, right? Multiple hours is probably going to be like the slow or the fastest trade he's going to do. A lot of his other trades will last a few days, maybe a week or two, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know, but that's kind of the swing trading aspect of this, and that's going to who you want to be your coach. If you want to day trade with me, which is very quick, but again, I'm only there for an hour, so like regardless, the most action of the day in the markets is going to be the first hour of the day, typically, right, on average. So I don't trade really ever after the first hour. I either come in, I can make my money quickly, and then I'm out, or I show up, nothing goes on, and then I can leave. The beauty of this, though, is that you don't have a boss. You can be here as many times as you want, or you can be here as little as you want. Okay? So there you go. So can swing trading be that same day or can it be a while? That's been confusing. So yeah, so swing trading technically is where you hold for over 1 day. Okay. So a lot of Mad Maverick trades will take a few days. You can buy and hold and maybe it takes 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. I don't know. every trade's going to be different, right? My trading style is more so I show up, I look at everything, and I look to catch a very small move on a stock. I would say 90% of my trades are under 10 minutes of time in length. Okay. So that's just two ways to look at it. Swing trading a little bit longer term, day trading much shorter. Yeah, I've never heard of rolling VWAP. Anyone else have other questions? We were at like 35 people. Now we're down to 23. What happened? YouTube, Twitter, you guys can ask questions as well. I can see anything you'll have. This is y'all's time, guys, especially for you new people. There's no bad questions. When are you coming to Maryland? I don't have any plans as of yet, Mastermind, but if you tell me a good time to come, I could definitely consider it. I don't know what there is to do in Maryland. What's anchored VWAP? I honestly don't know. I've never heard about that. I'm sure it's just anchored. It's probably anchored to the last price, rather not the average price of what's been happening. So I'm sure there's just a little technicality there. I'm sure if you just Google it, Carrie, it'll tell you. But I don't want to give you the wrong answer just because I don't really know off the top of my head here a perfect answer for you. So what time is the Thursday class? So my Thursday coaching corner classes are going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern, just like thanks, Lee. Yeah, just like I'm doing here. How does options work? What is the liability if a trade goes wrong? So think of options. I actually have a like 30-minute lesson on what options are, but there's a lot of components to options. I would say that the easiest way for me to describe an option is a way to leverage your money. So, for example, if I wanted to buy 1,000 shares of Apple stock today when it was at $233 a share, that's $233,000 I would have to buy 1,000 shares. If it goes up $1, I make $1,000. Okay, so I make $1,000 on $233,000. Okay, if I buy one option contract on Apple, and today they're about $170 a piece, I am then in control of 100 shares of Apple stock. So if I buy 10, which I did today, I just bought 10, not a ton, but I bought $10 on Apple stock and 10 contracts on Apple stock for $1,700, and I was in control of 1,000 shares. So think about the risk to reward here, though. I spend $233,000. It goes up $1. I make $1,000. Right? That's a lot of money to make $1,000. I could also spend $1,700 on contracts, on options, and make $1,000 in a much smaller move. But you also got to think that if that move goes against you, there's more risk there, right? So you don't need as much money to make more money, but it's simply just leveraging your money. So your wins are going to be more percentage-wise, right? It'll take a 10% move on Apple stock to make 10% on your position, right? It could take a 1% move on Apple stock to make, a 20 or 30% gain or loss on your options contract. Okay. So the liability, there's not necessarily a liability there, but, you can also buy a share of Apple stock and hold it forever. But with options, you have expiration. So you cannot just hold it forever. So there's other implications into it. But if you have no idea what options are, I would rather you just think of it as you are buying stock with leverage. And I can get into the details if you would like, because there's time decay, there's delta, there's gamma, there's a lot of other things. But again, PW, if you do end up joining on the premium side, I have many lessons on this stuff. So you can go back and watch those and then come ask questions to me later on. But again, I spent 30 minutes talking about this stuff. And it's in a recorded lesson. So I can't spend that much time on this one question for now. I hear people say trading option Robinhood is bad. Why is that exactly? Yeah, bad feels, just like TK said. Robinhood, guys, is not a professional platform. It's something that you can use for, if you want to swing trade, if you just kind of want to buy a couple stocks here and there and just, you really care about it. If you want to be a professional day trader or you want to take day trading seriously or any sort of trading seriously, you cannot be using Robinhood. Okay. You're going to be getting bad fills. It's a mobile app. There's a lot of other implications with it that I'm not even going to get into. I hate it. I really advise you not to do it, but some people just have to because it's very easy to understand, and that's why a lot of people use it. But yeah, bad fills are why they advertise that you have zero commissions on your trades. If I buy an option contract, I get a maybe a $2 or $3 better fill than you. But I actually end up paying an extra $2 per contract that I have in commission, right? I have to pay them to get me those good prices. For Robinhood, for example, you don't pay commission, but you're going to get those bad fills. Okay, so but a $2 or $3 move on 10 contracts could be 20, 30, $50. So just to kind of top that off, Robinhood, no bueno. But if you have to start there to understand things, do it. Do you look at delta, gamma, theta for day trades? No, I really don't, because I'm in and out in under 10 minutes most of the time, Remy, and that's why I don't need to consider them. I want you guys to understand them and know what they are, but I would only consider those when I'm swinging something and I'm holding it for a little while so I can calculate how much money I'm going to lose regardless, how much money I can gain if it does this. But there's also websites and stuff for you to do it. If anyone doesn't know about Options Profit Calculator, it's a website. You can type in what option you bought, what price you bought it, what expiration you bought it, and it's going to calculate how much you'd be up or down depending on the day until expiration for you. So I never really use them, guys, to begin with. I really don't, but I know what they are. You mentioned you could start with $500 earlier today, so that caught my attention. Yeah, so I mean, you got to think about today on Apple. I had someone, I think it was JWAG. He bought one Apple call today with me for $170, and I think he made $46 on it today. That's a pretty decent gain for $170. But again, you don't need $10,000 to start with options. However, if you have $500, I don't want you going in with all 500. I would rather you use cheaper contracts, go in with $100, $200 per position, and try to make your $20, $30, $40, $50 and just kind of get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? You can't be looking to make hundreds of dollars a day on a $500 account. So as long as you understand that, and you're going to go for those base hits, those small little trades to kind of get your feet wet, get some momentum, and then go from there. What platform to use on mobile besides Robinhood? I mean, the Thinkorswim app to me is really good. I just think that regardless, guys, if you ever want to take this like serious enough, you cannot be day trading on your phone. There is not one professional day trader in the world that trades off their phone. I can promise you. And if anyone tells you they do, they're lying. You have things like Wi-Fi problems, phone speed, delays on the app. I mean, there's just so many factors that can go into, problems that you can run into on the phone that you don't really want to be involved in. So I highly recommend just, using a laptop even is better than a phone. Using anything besides Robinhood to me is better as well. But people have to do what they have to do. So what determines the spread between the ask and the bid of a stock? So to quickly answer this G2G, the ask and the bid, right, is obviously the spread. If let's say that I own 1,000 apples, okay, so I have 1,000, the actual fruit, right, in a basket. And the ask, I'm asking people to pay $1.50 for the apple, okay, and I sell it to you. And the apple price doesn't go anywhere. You thought that my apple was going to go to $2, and it didn't. So it's still at $1.50. Well, you could say, "Hey, Ethan, I want to sell this back to you for what I paid for it at $1.50 or whatever I said." And I'm saying, no, I have your cash. I'm not going to buy it back unless you sell it to me for $1. If I can buy it back from you from $1, then I will. If you don't want to lose any money on this and you want to sell it for $1.50, then you need to go find someone else, because I'm going to take your $1.50 and I'm going to put it in my pocket. So that's the ask and the bid. You buy at the ask. As someone, as all of us want to go buy a share of something, we have to buy it at what they're asking people to buy it for. If we sell it back to them, that is what the market makers, the people with all the shares that you have to then sell your shares back to get out of your position, that is what they're willing to bid. That is what they're willing to buy it back for. And that is what the ask and the bid are. And that is why there's a spread on things. Does that make sense, G2G? What is better mobile trading app aside from Webull? I can't get it. Yeah, I would say Thinkorswim. Is a bad film. Robinhood more for day trades, not for penny stocks. It's going to be for everything. But sometimes it may be good, sometimes maybe not. Robinhood, guys, it's just not. It's to me, it's just not the best. But if it works for you, it works for you. I've used phone all day while at work. Yeah, I mean, some people just have implications, guys. I mean, it's just kind of the reality of your situation. Thinkorswim does not charge a monthly fee. No. Yeah, so just if you can't use a laptop or anything like that, then that's gonna be your implication. You can't be someone buying and selling in 1 minute, right? It just takes too long to click the option, click the price, or click market fill or whatever. Send your order, get the order filled, when I can just simply just go click and I'm out. So if you're looking, I would say look for a little bit bigger trades, maybe a little bit slower trades. I mean, you can day trade, or I'm not like telling you like get away from me. I don't want you to day trade with me, but just know that there's going to be a little bit more risk on the table, and maybe going over to Mad Maverick or Swinging Bull with just slower trades where you don't have to be executing within seconds or at least under a minute. That's not really going to be a factor with them. But hey, I'm more than happy for you to keep learning with me, and I'll teach you everything I can and help you as much as I can. Do they have lessons like I do? Yeah. Yeah, all the traders here have lessons. Lee, if you want to chime in and answer that, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, so we all have lessons. I don't exactly know how many or when they are, just because I have a bunch of streams that I do on my own. But yeah, everyone has lessons. I don't know exactly the structure of the lessons. This is what I do. I know that they share their screen and they talk on mic like I'm doing. But Mad Maverick's been doing it for a very long time, longer than me. So I do know that they're good. But if anyone else knows about Lee's lessons and stuff like that, please chime in on that. But PW, I know you now know kind of how I run things. But again, I think they do free lessons, so of course you could go and check those out. But on YouTube, I'm new to trading. What are some of the best companies to keep an eye on? Well, definitely, I'd keep an eye on like Nvidia and Apple this week. They're up near their all-time highs, so those could be some good ones to look at. Crypto's been doing really good, so Coinbase could be one to look at. Tesla's down quite a bit on their robo-taxi event, but we do have earnings coming up on a lot of things. We have Netflix earnings coming out on Thursday, so I'd keep an eye on that as well. So I would just, if I'm ever the first thing that I see guys do to interns on a trading floor, especially the older guys, and especially the people who have never traded before, they say, look at your feet. You're wearing Nikes. Cool. Go watch Nike stock. What do you drive? A Toyota? Okay, cool. Go watch Toyota. You drive a Ford? Okay, go watch Ford stock. Like you saw news on Elon Musk yesterday. Cool. Go watch Tesla. You bought something from Amazon the other day. Awesome. Go watch Amazon stock. Stuff like that. So just go and be curious. Thanks, Lee. I thought it was determined how liquid a stock was, like less volume means bigger spreads. So G2G, that's definitely another factor, right? Less volume, wider spreads. Less volume just means there's less, there's a smaller amount of shares that are transacting. So it's going to be harder to to get filled on something. So I said that what if I had 100 apples, or what if I have 3 apples? Okay, I'm willing to sell it to someone for $1.75 because the demand is high there, but there's not many apples to be sold. But I'm not going to buy it back unless you give it to me for pennies on the dollar. But if there's apples flying around, getting bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold, you can't really have wide spreads like that. You know what I mean? So something like if you look at Netflix, for example, um, they have lower volume compared to Tesla. Their spreads are going to be much wider. If you look at Tesla, on the other hand, like I just said, they have high volume. Their spreads are tighter. You got to think if there's 100 of me selling apples, or 3 people like me selling apples, right? It's less transactions, bigger spreads, stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of the example that I like to teach, just because it's a little bit easier to visualize. Am playing puts on Netflix earnings on Thursday. Well, good luck. Yeah, PW. A lot of the streams that we give out are going to be premium, right? I mean, we can't do this all for free. So I do my one free stream a week. I think the other guys do maybe one a week as well. So you can kind of get your money's worth really quickly, but I don't know how new you are or not, but we can definitely get you in a premium if you are interested. But again, it's just kind of how the world works. You're going to get what you pay for. We can't give everything out for free. So if you're ever interested or have any questions about it all, a little bit more detailed answers, just DM me, and I can set you up with whatever coach you'd like as well. And again, for anyone that's free here, there is going to be a lot of. I dealt with someone the other day who was kind of freaked out about the fact that they joined this chat and they get like 5 different friend requests from 5 different Mad Mavericks or Ethans or Nickies or whatever. The best time to add any of us as a friend or reach out to us is while you're in a stream, like right now, is when you're going to want to add me as a friend or DM me, because the last thing you want to do, and I still don't understand how people fall for it, especially if you think that I'm going to come and ask you for money, or ask you to send money to a crypto account because I'm going to invest it for you. I don't know who would fall for that, but people do it, and I can only say sorry. So I'm just going to put a bunch of dots here. If you do want to add me as a friend, please do it. But it's a real thing. So add me. Mad Maverick is still here as well. Add him as a friend if you need to, just so you know that you get the real person. Send me a message if you have to as well. No, Duke, I actually have 4 other accounts, so just text me on all 4 of the Ethans. I'm sure they're all going to sound the same. Thank you, Chag. That's good. Yeah, for you free guys, there is. I've seen people do it. They've won a free month in premium going to those things. Obviously we can't promise you're going to win on the first time, but it has been done before. So what is the point of options? Well, I mean, the point of options is simply just to be able to leverage your money. Unless you're telling me that you have $1 million in the bank that you can buy, 1,000 shares of Tesla stock tomorrow, that's why you use options. It's simply to use smaller amounts of money to trade the more expensive stocks, um, effectively, right? I mean, yeah, could we all show up and buy one share of Tesla? Yeah. But if it goes up $1, we're only making $1, right? So, you can't really make money doing that. That's why we trade options. It's a little bit harder, right? Maybe a little bit more risky, but that's why we do it. Is swing trading the same as options? No. So swing trading is a style of trading. Swing trading literally just means you're buying and holding something for over one day. Options is something that you are buying. Okay. So just like I can go and I can buy one share of Apple stock, I can also go and buy one option of Apple stock. That doesn't mean I'm buying a different stock. That simply just means I'm buying a different instrument, um, to trade with. Does that make sense? Yeah. So think of options as just like buying shares. Okay. It's all kind of the same thing. Options are just a little bit more complicated and they're cheaper, but they're just leveraged. We got about, what do we see? About 8 minutes left here, guys. Any other questions? I'll quickly go into what I'm going to look at for tomorrow. And then I'll answer any last minute questions here. Then we'll get out of here. So definitely going to watch Apple again. I mean, today was a perfect trade. I really couldn't ask for anything better. Made some good money on that, but we did make a new all-time high just barely on this. I mean, obviously it was up today because of the catalyst on the iPhone 16 sales. So could it go higher? I do think 240 is definitely doable. We hit a high at 237.5 today, but I'm not going to bank on it tomorrow. Just because we do have some earnings coming out in the next week or two. So I do think things are going to slow down, and just to add to that, like I've said a couple times tonight, we do have the election in like 20 days or whatever. So just be cautious, but I'll be watching Apple again tomorrow for sure. I'm interested in how far Nvidia fell today, especially after being so strong for about a week or two. So going to see if that wants to continue lower or if we end up going to bounce on that. That could be an interesting trade there. Tesla is still sitting around this $220 level. If it breaks under 215, it could be interesting. And maybe it goes down to 210, maybe 200. If I was forced to trade this, I'd probably want this to actually bounce. So above 225, we're going to be in a gap here from when it fell off after the robo-taxi event the other day. So I'm more interested into the upside on Tesla, not so much the downside. So we'll see where that goes. Pan W is another one that I'm interested in as well for an all-time high move here. Let me delete these. But I do think above 380, this could probably go on a move close to 400 pretty quickly. So that's probably all I'm going to look at here. We had some bank earnings today. CrowdStrike sold off a little bit. Yeah, not really interested in anything else, guys. But we'll see where they are in the morning. I'll send a watch list out. I'll get here about 30 to 45 minutes before the market open. So you guys will get that watch list here. And I think that's going to be it. Anything else? So one contract, 100 shares, goes up $1, you get $100, but cost of contracts vary. Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously not going to be linear like that. PW, it's going to depend on. So like, obviously, if you buy one contract and you have the right to 100 shares, you can't make $100 if it moves up one. So, but maybe you'll make 50. Right? You may make $50, but you're also paying 10% of what it costs to buy 100 shares. You know what I mean? Yeah, cost of contracts vary. Obviously, if I buy an option contract that's expiring in 2 days, it's going to be very cheap. If I buy one that's expiring in 2 months, it's going to be a lot more expensive because I have a lot more time to make money on it. I don't know much about jail bonds, PW, but I would think so. Yeah. I get it, Jag. All right, guys. Any other questions, or should we call it? It's getting late. Call it. Gabriel, I see you typing. It's all good. This is recorded for you. Cool. All right, guys. Well, let's get out of here. Y'all have a good rest of the night. I will be in the chats in the morning. I'm not live trading, but I'll be live trading again Thursday and Friday. So have a good rest of the night, and let's keep this week going. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.